Hey, welcome to Big Ben's Boxing. I'm Big Ben. Step into my office. So, this weekend is one of the most anticipated fights in recent light heavyweight history. And we had a very good fight and a very much anticipated fight in Bivol versus Beterbiev. But these are two young men that just moved up to light heavyweight. And you're looking at David Benavidez versus David Morrell. And it's going to be a really great fight. When we break down this fight and we look at their size, both of them are used to being the bigger man. They've been bigger than their opponents, right? David Benavidez has always had a size and a reach advantage, and so has David Morrell. So now they in the ring, and David Morrell has a slight reach advantage. David Benavidez has a slight height advantage. And so now you're in there with another guy that's not just your size, but a guy that's pretty good in your size. So it's one thing being in there with a guy and you just say, hey man, this guy's big as me. But then there's another thing than when you're in there with a guy and you're like, man, this guy can fight and he big as me. And so that's what we're looking at with these two in there. When we break it down in category to category, man, listen, David Benavidez is a guy who we know what we're getting. We know how he reacts in adversity. We've seen him in a tough fight. We've seen him have to, fight and pull through. We've seen him get dropped. We've seen him get up. We've seen him go into the late rounds. We've seen him get a little tired with Caleb. I thought he got a little tired with Caleb Plant. So we've seen him and we've seen that, hey, man, he's a fighter through and through. David Morrell, man, we don't know where he is going to be. We don't know how he's going to be in the late rounds. We don't know how he'll be if he gets hurt. We don't know how he'll react if he's tired. And so you have to go with what has been proven in that aspect and say, well, man, I know what David Benavidez can do. When it comes to speed, hand speed, man, David Benavidez has very good hand speed, and he throws combinations, man, like he throws great combinations. He has great combination hand speed. I think that Morrell has speed, and he has single twitch kind of speed where he can pop a jab, But when it comes to Benavidez, man, he can put the punches together a lot better than that. So I'll give a slight speed advantage to Benavidez because he can put them together in speed, fast succession. Power, I'm going to give a slight edge to David Morrell. Benavidez got good power, but he really don't have great single punch power. What he does is, man, he'll put them punches together and he'll beat you into submission. He'll hit you so many times till the referee is tired of seeing you get hit. And I'm not saying that he's not hurting you or he's not damaging you, but Morrell does have better single punch power, whereas he hit you with a punch and you're on shaky, wobbly legs. Morrell, power-wise, is a little bit better. When it comes to, like I say, the reach, Morrell has a slight reach advantage. I think it's about like 4 inches or so. So you're looking at a 74-inch reach to a 78-inch reach. Well, that's not a slight reach. That's pretty good, man. That's and so, man, 4 inches is pretty good. And so even with all the speed that David Benavidez is establishing can he establish and use it in a fight, or will Morrell be able to keep him at distance with longer arms, As far as stamina, like I say, David Benavidez is proven in stamina. We don't know what David Morrell or how he'll be if it's a brutal fight or if it's a rough fight going into later rounds. Man, we don't know how it'll be if David Benavidez puts a lot of pressure on Morrell. Can he handle that pressure? Or what if he cannot put that pressure on Morrell because of Morrell's strength and he's so used to moving forward, but then he doesn't have that forward momentum like he usually has. And so there are lots of things in this fight. I'm looking at for a good fight, one that could potentially go either way. Morrell is a good fighter. He's on a Cuban team. He's a Cuban national champion. Not only was he a Cuban national champion, but he had a junior world championship. And so, man, he has an extensive history. That Cuban school where he was in there pretty deep. And so, man, it's going to be a great fight. And the winner gets the winner of Bivol and Beterbiev. You know, especially if Beterbiev wins again, then I think it'll go right to that. Now, if it's Bivol, it'll probably be that 1-1, and then they have to say, okay, who's going to win the third fight or the rubber match or whatever, so they might have to wait. But this fight has a lot on it. Also, if we go further on that card, man, we got Stephen Fulton in his rematch with Brandon Figueroa. And, man, that first fight was a great fight. It was a great fight. Brandon was coming, kept pressure on him all night. Stephen Fulton, he maneuvered pretty well throughout that fight. I think that by the end of that fight, you was looking at that fight and it was like, man, who won? It's one of those, like, who won? But the problem to me is that Fulton, I don't think that he was doing, although the things he was doing that were really, man, they were awesome, but I don't think that he was hurting or discouraging Figueroa. And I think that he's going to have to be able to discourage him. And the main way to discourage a person in a boxing ring, in a fight, is pain, man. He has to feel something like, oh, let me slow down a little bit. And I don't think so. No, the first one was razor close, and so I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say, man, I think Figueroa might get his revenge in this one. Another fight on that card is Isaac Cruz, and I don't even know much about the guy he is fighting. His name is Angel Ferrero, and I think that it's just a chance to supposedly showcase Isaac Cruz. This guy got a good record. I don't know. I didn't look at his knockout percentage, and so is he bringing power? Isaac Cruz needs something to put him back on on the upper echelon after he lost to Jose Venezuela. He needs something to make him look good, and I suspect that's what they're trying to do, is make him look good. And so those are the fights that are standouts on that card. Cromell Moten is supposed to be fighting on that card, I think, and so it's going to be a good show. Another fight this weekend that's really interesting, and it's in ladies boxing, is Claressa Shields is fighting Danielle Perkins. And I looked at this young lady, Danielle Perkins. Man, she's big and she's strong, but she's one of those late coming to boxing, right? And so, I've watched some of her fights, man, and she's big and she's strong, but she's inexperienced. And I think that her size and strength in itself can cause some problems for Claressa, but I think that Claressa figure out how to outmaneuver, and man, Claressa's gonna handle her, in an experienced fashion. Like, man, listen, I know what I'm doing. I've been here for a while, and so it's something that I intend to watch. It'll be on DAZN Sunday, but I don't think that it'll be. Now I have watched some videos on the young lady Danielle Perkins, and I'll say this is that, man, hey, she is lacking some experience. She has the talent, the size to really make some things difficult for Claressa, but I just don't think she has the experience, and I think Claressa is going to expose that. It's going, so I'm looking for her to put on give us an entertaining performance and look good. But that is my review for this weekend on Big Ben's Boxing. And hey, I will see you all next time.